Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your Four Lads instant Rangers match reaction. I am just back from Parkhead to what was a momentous morning stroke afternoon. I think I arrived there last night, considering the time we had to go in. So you could say I'm from one dungeon to another, and I'm joined by my very, very good friend, co-host Kenny Stewart. Kenny, that was just bloody glorious.
Incredible, mate. Listen, I am so jealous of you that you were there. That must have been what a buzz that must have been when we scored that winner. That must have been sensational, mate. How was it for you? Put it that way.
It was incredible. I've not seen Rangers win at Parkhead. I said to you last night, it must be about 27 years. Last time I seen them win was my first ever trip there. And I was counting last night, and I think I've seen 9 defeats and 2 draws since. The first win was McCoy's final Old Firm goal with a header, and Albert's has got the second before I think they pulled one back. I think Craig Burley pulled one back in a 2-1 win. It was a 50-50 Scottish Cup semi-final split. So, an actual league duty, my first ever win there. And it was brilliant. I think I arrived there at like 9:15 this morning, met up with my friends. Big shout out to Jim and Mando at Rhino Express who sorted the ticket, and to Vaclav Cherny who managed to get it for me. So thank you to them. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The crowd were amazing. We were in there, Kenny, for about 10:15. So we were a good 2 and a bit hours, and the crowd were non-stop. It was unbelievable, the effort. And I thought that we got a first half that was just incredibly good. In fact, as ridiculous as it sounds, and we'll go through everything, obviously, at half-time, Kenny, I was disappointed it was only 2-0, because I thought, and bear in mind, right, I've not seen it back. I was quite near the front, as you know, because you sent me the picture saying, "Where's Wally? We can see his baldy head." I was quite near the front, so sometimes you get like an uneven kind of like what's a chance and what's not a chance. But Rangers started in sensational fashion. And you know, the thing was, Kenny, as well, we had a free kick straight away, and then we had a corner, and we hit the first man twice. And I was kicking myself because I was like, that's an opportunity for us, get it in there. And then it was the old corner routine, Raskin running across the front man, and it's a lovely header. And you know, at the time, I wasn't sure if somebody had touched it at the back post, but I've not seen it since. Straight in, smallest man on the pitch. Obviously, he's taller than me, but the wee man popped up brilliantly. He was great again today, but a great start for Rangers.
Yeah, listen, he had a strike to get the corner that Schmeichel had to do well to tip round the post. We started really, really well. And what a leap. You've not seen it back, as you say, but watch it when you see it. An incredible leap for the wee guy. And a brilliant header. Just takes everything out of the game, right in the corner. And the dream start when you're going over there, Stevie, to get the goal so early, that was, as I say, just couldn't believe what I was watching, actually. We just started really, really well. They barely touched the ball and they were goal down. And it set the tone for that first half. We just totally dominated that.
I thought they were flat. I really did. I expected them to come with all the kind of pace and gusto and power you would expect. It didn't really happen. I thought the crowd was flat. Jack Butland did produce a pretty excellent save up to his top right-hand side. I think that was still at 1-0. And Rangers then had opportunities. I think Schmeichel with the duff kick and Cherny went in, and I was screaming, open up your left foot and just curl that in. And at that point, Kenny, and we had another one, I think we had a breakaway, and I think it was Dessers possibly in the middle, and he played it left, and it was too heavy for Ridvan, who I thought was unbelievably good today, up and down that left-hand side. And it was wee moments like that where I thought we're just kind of overplaying. But at 30 or so minutes, I mean, I was buzzing. I thought we were doing really, really well and defending really well. Sterling had a clearance off the line, which he kind of flipped back and out, which I thought was brilliant. I thought Sterling, for, again, really clever, Barry swapped Sterling and Tavernier, knowing that Sterling maybe didn't have the legs to get up and down and was really putting himself through the barrier. But, 30 odd minutes in, we'd started really, really well.
Yeah, the save from Butland's a worldy save, actually. That's gone right in the top corner. He he gets full stretch and gets it over. That was in about 9 minutes or something like that, 8-9 minutes in. And it was the kind of first thing they had done. But Stevie, that first half hour was one of those. It was very open, and every time we got the ball, we looked really dangerous. And I don't know if it was the shape that's spooked them a little bit. I've no idea. I don't care. But at the same time, we were clearly the dominant side, and clearly the side with the potential to cause real damage. And it's one of these things, Stevie, that I look at, and not being at the game, I would have loved to have been there. But the point being that it's difficult to see it on the telly sometimes because, as you say, the Czerny one with a bad pass out from the keeper, I actually was screaming, just as you say, open your body, but hit it first time. It's an open goal. Now, he is a little bit far out, but a confident player like Czerny, I would have thought, just open your body and hit it towards a goal because it's going to go in. But it's hard to tell, as I say, when you're seeing it on the telly, if it was as easy as it looked. But as it was, he took it round the keeper and tried to cut it back, and that was probably the other real golden opportunity we had. Now, as I say, we've had 3 or 4 strikes. The keepers had to parry. We've got 6 or 7 corners in that first half.
There was a header, wasn't there, from Balogun? I think was pushed out, and it caused a bit of a scramble. And we're up the other end, and you're waiting for that to kind of fall to somebody. It didn't fall, and you're right. We had so many opportunities. It felt like we were dominating, but then the second comes, I think, just around about 38, 39 minutes, and it was perfect, wasn't it? You can talk us through this one because again, I've not seen it replayed.
It's switched from the left to the right. Tavernier plays a wonderful dinked ball. Raskin makes this wonderful run, and I'll tell you something about Raskin. They've been moaning all week about their Belgian midfielder not getting in their squad. Well, I'll tell you what, tonight who the better player was in that part today, because Raskin was sensational. He makes this incredible run and just flicks it with his a header that he knows exactly what he's doing, flicks it to Diamandi. I thought Diamandi had maybe taken a slightly too, strong a touch, but no, he just spins, swivels, and strokes it away in the bottom corner. Keeper's not got a prayer, and I thought you'd do well to top that goal today, but we did. But what a wonderful team move it was, mate. It was fantastic. And I'm sitting in here just going crazy. I couldn't believe it because I thought we merited it in the first half. I thought we deserved at least a 2-goal lead, but we could have been more. But because we were very, very rare to see us go there and play as well as we did and create as much as we did, Stevie.
Yeah, I would agree. That's why at half time was a little bit. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? 2-0 up, but there was that side of me thinking 2-0 is a precarious scoreline. They're going to come and have a goal. We could have got another one, but I'm delighted, over the moon. So the second half starts. I don't think we start that well. Tav is trying to get them up. You can see Tav a couple of times. He's like, come on, lads. And then it comes from, and I don't want to be critical on a day like today, but Butland's kick isn't good. It goes straight to Hatate, I think. He then kind of works it round the right-hand side. And Butland, to me, he's right over at his front post. It gets dinked to the back, and there's Maeda. A hell of a jump for a wee guy as well, considering I think that Balogun and things are at our back post, but then it nods in. And at that point, Kenny, 50 minutes, I think it was, I'm thinking, right, okay, this is going to be a long second half. We look dead on our feet. Excuse me. Look dead on our feet, and then you're up against it.
Yeah, and it's quite a poor goal from us. I'm not convinced that Tavernier and Sterling should be so close together. And I hate seeing that at the back post, mate, when both your defenders are facing their own goal. One's got to attack it, and it allows Maeda to get the leap on the pair of them. It is a fine leap, to be fair to the lad, and it's a cracking header. It's just buried. But we looked tired from the very, very get-go in the second half. But being fair to the team, they've just done 2 hours and penalty kicks on Thursday. You're going to tire. They've got a point to prove because that wouldn't be acceptable to them or the crowd, the way we dominated that first half. So they're going to come at you. But at the same time, mate, disappointing goal to lose. And I began to feel it the worst purely because it was one of those, it was the wrong time to lose the goal. I thought really early, 48, 49 minutes in, and you just know you're going to be backs to the wall. It's going to be the Alamo, and you're sitting there watching it, and, or I was sitting there watching it thinking, right, let's see if we can play out a bit, but we weren't able to do that. And on my notes, I've actually said at 60 minutes, we looked done. We looked absolutely shattered. We struggled for the next 10, 15 minutes. But from there on, we actually started to come into a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. What I was going to say was, I felt like if we could get through 10 minutes and get our foot on the ball, we might be okay, but we never really done it. I felt like Desser's kind of tired, and then Tierney was obvious. Tierney's been knackered for weeks. And let's be clear, this is not a criticism. They were heroic on Thursday night with the effort, and yes, they got beat on Thursday night, but to go toe-to-toe with Fenerbahce over two legs and put them out ultimately, doesn't matter how you do it. So they've went and put themselves through the ringer again, and then came there to Parkhead and put in a 45 minutes at Parkhead, which is as good as I've seen in my lifetime. They started off, and yes, I'm with you. I think the break and having to go again, but they did, and they were well organised. It just never felt like I was waiting on this pressure. It never really came. And then, of course, out of nowhere, it felt like out of nowhere, they equalise, and it's a goal that, I don't know, like, again, I've seen it once, and it looked like Hatate ran off of proper to come in. I can't remember how it kind of built up, but it felt to me like it was a blind run down between the left back and the centre half in that movement. He finishes well. 2-2 at 70, Kenny. I'm fearing it even more than I was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, of course. And for me, and I've the privilege of watching it back, mate, but I think perhaps Conor Barron can make the run to go with him, because Bannon lets him go. But at the same time, listen, again, I'm going to be fair to them. That's a fantastic finish as well. It's right in the bottom corner. The keeper's not got a prayer. But you're absolutely right in what you're saying about the way he just gets in between and he makes the run and he gives himself a good couple of yards of space, and he's got a free hit at it. But what they were doing at that point, Stevie, was they were finding big pockets of space in the midfield. Our midfield, they had managed to press right up, and they were finding spaces that I think just our energy levels in the midfield were beginning to struggle. And as you say, with the two boys up front, tiring, there was no way of holding it up, and that's where it was coming back, at us constantly. And I must admit, I kind of felt that the goal was coming at that point, and it didn't surprise me when it did. But I'm going to be fair to them and say that it is a cracking finish, and there's nothing. I wouldn't put too much blame on any individual on it. I just think that the boy makes a good run and he tucks it away.
And then there was a wee bit of Celtic pressure without really doing much. Barry changed it. We think Hadji come on, then Eagleman comes on, Tom Lawrence comes on, and Ciala came on at the back, and good on him, because that's his first outing since Rugby Park, and he was really comfortable. Slop, I think, had a shot which Butland saves really well out to the right, but there wasn't. I thought they dipped as well. They were playing about a lot, and their crowd were getting on to them. Again, they were quiet. You weren't hearing this noise, and 20 minutes left, 2-2 at Parkhead. We're on our arse after a midweek that we've had. You would expect that. It didn't come, and all of a sudden, Rangers get a break. Tierney puts a great ball into Dessers, and you just want him to take it in his stride and hit it. He doesn't. He cuts back in. He's got time to think about it, and we know what happens then. He makes an arse of it. And then Conor Barron pops up. Lovely skill, I think, by Diamandi on that side before. And I thought we're getting a wee bit of joy down there. On that side, they looked a wee bit kind of weak. It was Barron that went in that side, not from the same Diamandi move. He was long off at that moment. But Barron gets in and he shoots wide. And then at that point, I actually turned and I said to the boys, I was actually with, I was standing next to Conor Barron's dad, Graham, and I said, we'll get one more chance. And I felt like we had one more chance, and I felt like they would get more chances, but I felt like we'd get one more chance, Kenny. But that one more chance, what a moment.
Well, listen, mate, what you've said, it's interesting to hear what you being at the game and you saying that, their crowd getting on at them. What we did after that second goal, Stevie, and I'll shower praise on the team. I'll shower praise on James Tavernier for doing it as well, because he was the one that kind of influenced it. We really started to slow the game down and take the sting out of it, and that allowed us back into the game. Now, onto the goal. What their defence is doing, I have no idea. Carter Vickers should just header it away. He doesn't.
Cameron Cardboard Vickers. They go on about him like he's a world beater. I'm sorry, he's not.
Yeah, they go on about that boy and what's his name, Johnston, Alistair Johnston, as if he was horrific today. He was dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And they go on about how wonderful he is. He's not a good player. He slips and gets back, and our man Hamza just plays me 1-2 off him and just levels this at 1,000 mile an hour in the top corner. I'll tell you what, if the net's not there, that's still travelling, mate. That's going to hit the moon, because that is leathered, that strike.
A couple of things happened in my head at that very moment. On Thursday night, Hamza Eagleman has the exact same moment, right? And it's probably easier at Parkhead, and he tries to place it. And in the left-hand side, the bottom corner, goalie makes a good save. And I was saying to myself at that point, I can't remember if I said it on the vlog, I really wished he'd just taken it in a wee bit. This time, when he's shaping up, as soon as he hits it, and people at the game and people who've been at football, my brain immediately went, that's got a chance. And it was like slow-mo, because as the next frame in my head, I was like, Christ, that's going in. And then it was just like a wonderful moment. As I said, I'm right in the front. The players are right in front of me. I'll probably stick up like a wee kind of post-match with a few of the photos and stuff. It'll only be a couple of minutes long, but people can watch that as well. Some of the atmosphere. But yeah, it was what a moment. What a moment. And I've never had a final kind of 88, 89 minute goal at Parkhead like that, which meant, victory for Rangers. I think I've only had, when you think about Lovenkran's header, maybe Edu, late goals against them, and that was what a hit. Like, just as clean as a whistle. And he's capable. He is a wonder boy. We know he is. He's struggling a wee bit. That might reignite him. Possibly he's another one that's not played a lot of football. He's just a young kid. He's clearly got talent. We've all raved about him. But wow, wow. Just, Kenny, what a feeling.
It's as good a goal as I have ever seen us score up there in terms of strike. It is wonderful. And as you say, if you're I know exactly where you were in the Rangers end, but watching it in the telly, I promise you, from the second he hits it, it's only going one place. You know it's going in, because it's right in the top corner. And listen, I'm deadly serious. It must be flying about 80, 85 miles an hour. It just flies into the roof. Keeper's got no chance. And listen, I'm going to say it. I don't think it's any more than we deserve. Actually, I think the first half performance alone, the backs to the wall, kind of almost like a siege mentality in the second half, and staying in the game when we could have crumbled. And you won't have heard it, but Barry's actually said that it's been aimed at this squad over and over and over again, a lack of character, a lack of determination. Well, I'll tell you what, they're beginning to answer some of their critics, or some of the criticisms of them, I'll say that, because it is, without a doubt, when it went to 2-2, a result I didn't see coming. But I'll tell you what, from that, as I say, from the equaliser, we were very much back in the game, Stevie. And we really did play well. And over the piece, as I say, I think we probably merited it. We created the better chances. We were the better team over the 90 minutes. Yeah, we didn't have a huge amount of ball in the second half. but by God, did we earn our win today?
Okay, we're going to go into this more. Monday night podcast, we will dissect this. We will talk about Barry. We will talk about a lot more. This is your instant match reaction. Kenny, man of the match for you, please.
For the third time in a row, mate, without a shadow of a doubt, Nico Raskin, he was exceptional today, mate. Absolutely tremendous from start to finish. Best performance from him in a Rangers jersey for me today.
Yeah, Nico just keeps getting better and better. My man of the match today is the captain, James Tavernier. Thought he was terrific. Got back, matched Jota, who was subbed off. Remember, this is Jota, you know, the £25 million, £15 million coming back player, and he's undoubtedly a good player. I don't say that disparagingly towards him. I say how good this boy is. Jota's a good player. He's
You
proved
had to
that.
switch him in the second half, Stevie. He got no joy in the first half whatsoever.
Yeah, I thought that Tav was incredibly good. Redvan, another one for me, up and down the left. I thought the engine of the wee man was absolutely terrific. A lot of good moments. John Suter again, Dujon Sterling at centre half. These are guys that are putting their bodies in the line for us. And I said, look, everybody knows my feelings on Clement. I'll talk about this more tomorrow, but there's no way that this squad were buying into what he was doing. They bought into Barry Ferguson in the space of 4 or 5 weeks, and it's shown. Today's a magical day for us. Loved it. Loved every second. It wasn't our biggest game this week. It wasn't a game that ultimately mattered or made a difference to anything. But you know what? I enjoyed every single minute of it. Kenny, thanks for joining me, my man.
Not at all. All we've heard all week, Stevie, is that we'll see the difference in class having gotten ourselves into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We see the difference in class today. Well, I'll tell you what, two things I'll say. There was a difference in class today. We were the better side. And two, that is not a patch on the Fenerbahce team we have just knocked out, that Celtic team. They're not. And I mean it. I genuinely mean it. They are not as good as that. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the comments, Kenny, because for a long time, Celtic fans that visit this channel have been telling us the 16th of March you're going to get a doing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to their comments today. I really am. 9 goals in 3 games against you lot. And this is a Rangers team that's not firing. Yeah.
They'll be playing hide and seek, Stevie.
They'll win a treble this year, and fair play to them. But a wee warning notice today, that's for sure. Well done, Barry. Well done, the team. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot if you did. We're trying to build the channel, and we're doing really well. We're really enjoying it. We're fast approaching 1 million views in a year, which is incredible. We're having great fun. So thank you for joining us. We have a brilliant team with us, and the response over the last couple of months has been incredible, and we're loving it. So thank you to our sponsors, Rhino Express, Jim and Mando today, the ticket and everything brilliant. Glenview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, Carlo and the boys as well, and Black Rooster, our partners, Black Rooster and Arctic Gold. We love it. Thank you, everybody, for support. Have a good weekend, folks. Glasgow is red, white, and blue.
Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Glenview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited and CSD Air Conditioning, along with Art of Gold. Thank you for listening or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.